Hi everyone, so third review for this week is for Golden Sea by Emma Radley. If you want to check out my review, I have just posted that, so if you're on YouTube there's a link in the description below, and if you are on Facebook or on my blog then there's a link within the post. And this is the video review. So Golden Sea by Emma Radley is the sequel to the map-making magician series Book 1 Silver Beasts, and it was pure magical adventure, and I am so excited to be telling you about this book because I absolutely love this series. So we're back with our 4 map-making magicians, which we've met in the first book, and they are off on an adventure across the seas to continue their mission on behalf of the king. And on the way they are going to encounter the most mysterious and magical things and have the most amazing experiences. And among that, they're also going to have fear, worry, wonder, amazement, and anything but plain sailing, because then it would not be an adventure, would it? And as more about them is revealed and the bigger picture of their story starts to unfold, much adventure lays ahead for the young explorers, but the weird and wonderful is always going to be present and surrounding them throughout the whole time. So that's all I can really say about it, because everything else is just too much of a spoiler. It's an adventure, and it was a fantastic adventure. Like I say, as the sequel to Silver Beasts, I just knew that Golden Sea was going to be this weird, wonderful adventure, and I was not disappointed. I have been waiting for this, and I absolutely adored it. I would definitely recommend reading the first book in the series if you haven't done so before reading this one, because you very much need to understand what has transpired before, and because it's awesome. But you could read this on its own as just an adventure story, but you won't understand some of the references that they're making to certain past events. But you can do it. Emma's given you enough that you can just enjoy this as an adventure at sea. But I think you'll want to read the first book. So as ever, Emma's wonderful imagination has created creatures, lands, scenarios and things like that are beyond like wildest dreams and imagination. I don't know how she does it, but it's so clever and it's so magical, and I love that about these stories. Everything is such an imaginative moment and unexpected. Like, I never expect what is happening in these stories. I never expect what is going to come next or what's going to be revealed or anything. Completely unexpected. Each chapter holds wonderful surprises, thrills, the unknown, unexpected encounters, hidden truths, and just magic everywhere. I love it. It's great. It's one to keep you on your toes because you just don't know what's going to happen when you turn the page. And when I first encountered the map-making magicians in Silver Beasts, I knew their lives were going to be anything but dull. This sequel really faced quite a number of wonderful things, is what they faced when they were out there in the wider world. And yet they also had to experience some things that were less magical, you know, some unexpected darker things that they weren't so prepared for, and I was so emotionally connected to them. They set out to face the seas, and the imagery and the action was just amazing. I really felt like I was there. I could picture it all. I was in the moment with them. I could have easily been on that ship, even though I definitely would have got seasick. And I could just see it all, you know, the ships, the uniforms, the beautiful characters, you know, both familiar characters, and then there was a few new characters in this as well who I could just picture perfectly from Emma's amazing descriptions of them. So there is always something to discover in these books, and especially with fantasy stories, you're always out for discovery, and that is exactly what I find myself doing with this series. So it was such fun, and it was not too out there. You know, the grimness of torn nations, and what happens when you basically go on an adventure like this. You know, it's sort of usually lost in a fantasy that everything's just solved by people throwing magic at things. And what I like about this is you know, there's heartache, there's devastation, and there's worry, and it keeps reality. So you can't just throw magic at a problem, every problem in this story. There's things you can't, there's nothing you can do about them. And I love how Emma does that. She keeps that reality in there. It keeps the characters grounded, and it keeps you as the reader quite grounded. You don't get lost in it being too much of a fantasy that, you know, everything's okay because there's some magic. But there's that hope because of the magic. And despite sort of what they are achieving, there's always going to be sacrifice, there's always going to be harm, and that's just the reality that has to be faced. And I like how Emma sort of approaches that head on. But I love how she keeps those elements, but she never lets them distract. So they don't ever distract from that hope, that element of hope that has to sit with fantasy, that there is a better tomorrow, a better future. And she keeps that alive in the spirit of the characters and the people they meet, and the wonder of everything they go through, whether it be darker or, you know, purely magical. So I can't wait to read more of this series. I really, really can't. It's honestly one of my favourite things. And when I sort of head out on not only sort of the physical journey of reading the book, I head out on an emotional one too with the characters, and I become very lost in their world. I'm very immersed in it. And sort of Emma, with these characters, she expertly explores dynamics. So I love how nothing's straightforward there either. These characters are the most unique characters I've ever met. They have such an open-mindedness and an understanding, but that is not always the case. And so they are human from time to time, if you sort of pardon that, because they have abilities beyond human, but they are human at times where they forget themselves, and they really do experience emotions that leave them contemplative of everything, and are strange to them. They don't always expect to feel what they do, and they have to deal with that. So I love that they're really unique characters, and I love spending time with them. They're brilliant. But it's thoroughly enjoyable, Golden Sea. It's amazing, and I am excited for the future and more. There has to be more of this. It's just such an amazing series, and I really can't wait. I highly recommend the book to anyone who loves fantasy. You will love this. But if you haven't tried fantasy as a genre because you're not sure of it and you don't think it's for you, I would definitely recommend starting here with the Map-Making Magician series, Silver Beasts and then Golden Sea, because I just couldn't put it down, and it was absolutely brilliant. And it's not what I would call pure fantasy, because it has that element of reality. So I absolutely love, Emma's got that dynamic so right, and I absolutely love the connections, the characters, the places, the scenery, everything. It's just a wonderful, wonderful adventure to be on, and a wonderful story to read. So I really, really enjoyed it. I can't wait for more. I hope we won't be waiting too long, but I will wait. I will definitely wait. Even if it took years, I would wait. I absolutely love this series. It's one of my favourites. Can't wait to go back and read it again. So I'll pop a link in the description so you can go and grab yourself a copy of Golden Sea by Emma Stern and Radley, which I really, really hope you will. If you've read Golden Sea, I would love to hear your thoughts. So please comment below. Please get involved. Please let me know what you thought of the story and the book. If you haven't read it yet, but you're planning to read it, or it's on your to be read list, or you're thinking, I really, really want to read that book now, please comment below, because it's always great to hear what you're reading. And if you do read it, not only do I hope you absolutely love it, but I hope you have an amazing adventure with the Map-Making Magicians, because I just know you will. Bye!